This podcast contains adult language, descriptions of violence, sexual references, and other possibly offensive themes. Listener discretion is advised. Previously on Back to the Story.
They went north to the Mortham ruins. They crossed the river Saber. Past up that, they went through the Balkan timberlands, through the timberlands, and then they went to Roost Ridge. And then they went north to the Hillgrad range, and they moved through there to get into Tynir.
I know I don't say it enough, but
I love you too. You'll come back. Broken arm, shattered ribs, whatever it takes. You come back.
Did it sound like we were being surrounded, or they were coming from more from one side?
So at first you are being chased from behind, but as you ran into this more narrow mountain pass, some others came from the front, and now you're surrounded. They've been kind of circling you, almost herding you towards this place.
Got it. So in that case, Paul's just where he is. There's nowhere to really stand from it.
Okay.
And what's that line near us?
Sure. So you guys are in this kind of narrow mountain pass. To the left and right are walls of the mountain pass that rise up high at a pretty steep slope. There's a number of trees, blue pine trees, and a boulder or two, and everything's covered in snow. It's fairly fresh snow, but it's not deep enough to slow you down yet. To the right, where you see on that line on the map, there's sort of a gentle slope that starts at the southern tip of the line that slopes up to where there's sort of a short cliff wall that's kind of elevated above your position. So it starts out at the same elevation but goes up maybe 15, 20 feet at its maximum ahead of you.
Am I correct in my understanding of the journey rules that we get expended spell slots back?
No.
Okay.
No. So with that, we'll kind of jump into this combat. I believe Felix will be up first. You guys are in this mountain pass. The snow is kind of flurrying around. You could hear these large wolves howling and encircling you, snarling. You can see this frosty mist coming out of their breath as they're opening their mouths, and their eyes kind of glowing yellow as they snarl and encircle you. One is charging down from the slope to the right, and another one is kind of revealing itself around the corner ahead of you, beginning to charge towards you. You hear these howls, dissonant and terrifying in the night as they're rushing out of the shadows. Felix, what do you do?
All right. Felix is going to take out his quill, grab Vesper's hand, and write the character for speed, casting haste on her. And then I'm going to run up the little hill here, and bonus action to summon Aeon just beside me, and I'll drag him to the map.
All right. As that rune of speed fades around Vesper, that'll bring us up to a large wolf kind of rushing out of the shadows, howling dissonantly. The howls from itself echo off the walls and crash against the notes and howls of the other wolves in this frightening manner as they're all charging out of the shadows. And need everyone to make a wisdom saving throw.
9.
6.
Rip.
21.
Sorry, which saving throw is this?
Wisdom.
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 Can I use my advantage on it? The inspiration thing?
Yeah, as long as you haven't rolled yet.
No, I haven't rolled yet.
Okay, sure.
So I'm going to use
Burn it.
21.
Nice. I think that's everyone. Besides Samson. Forgot I would have to pilot. I think his sheet is updated though. Oh, of course. Great. I guess he'll go next. I don't know if you guys can see that. Samson rolled a natural 20 on his initiative. Like an asshole. Well, he'll go right after this then. So Vesper, Felix, Samson, These dissonant howls strike you with fear as they charge all around you and begin to encircle you. You have disadvantage on checks and attacks while the source of fear is within sight, the wolves, and cannot willingly move towards the source of fear, which is the wolves. Particularly this one that is charging out. He's going to get there. Can't quite get to you. This larger wolf is charging out of the shadows. You can see chest stained red from crimson, from blood of previous prey. While he gets close to you, he breathes in and releases this burst of frost, cold energy. I need some people to make some deck saves. Let's see. Ball, Ellory, and Amson. Make some deck saves.
Okay.
15 for both.
Okay.
That's 21 again.
So all of you pass, so instead of taking 17 cold damage, you take 8 cold damage. That'll bring us up to Amson. He's going to do something. God, I don't know what Amson can do. What does he normally do?
Sing us a song.
Yeah, that's a good idea. He'll inspire... inspire Ellory. So Ellory, you have an investigation. Or inspiration. Da 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 da, the snow is bad, and so are wolves. Boom. So you have an inspiration.
Otherwise, Fairy Fire's a go-to. Beacon of Hope.
Ooh, Beacon of Hope. Yeah, it does that. Beacon of Hope.
I like listening to Klaus play him. Ooh, yeah, he does that.
Where is that? Okay. God, it's a 3rd level. All right. We guess Beacon of Hope. Any number of creatures, so all of you guys, advantage of wisdom saving throws and death saving throws. Alright, well, I'll just have you all roll at the top. Alright, so that's Amson. That will bring us up to Ellory.
Okay, so...
The wolves are charging, collapsing in on you.
I see the one that's, coming from the south is the closest to me. At least the closest that I can see. I feel like bunching up together is not a great idea. So I'm gonna move in the direction of Felix, I think, and I'll just go about 15 feet towards where he is. And then I am going to cast Firebolt at the wolf to the south. That is a natural fucking 1.
Ooh, roll that D100.
Yes, I will. That's 36.
Ooh.
I'm not sure I like that sound.
Roll a D10.
Oh no. Okay.
Please get shorter, please get shorter, please get shorter.
Or younger. Or older.
It's a 7.
Okay, how old are you currently? 22,
That's a good
23?
question. I was 19 when we left for Nymanet, which would make me, I think, 21 now, but I also aged an extra 8 years.
Before?
Before.
Okay, so you're currently 29,
Mm-hmm.
or 21, but you look 29.
Mm-hmm.
And now you look 36. Wait, no. What did you roll? 6?
7.
7? Yeah, 36.
36.
You're 36 years old.
Wait, but if I aged... I thought it was odd was younger, even was...
I have even for older.
Because I got older the last time and that was 8 years.
So she would get 7 years younger, right?
Wait, okay, I see, I'm sorry. I thought it's 35 to 36, so I thought 36 is even, which means older. I see. Okay, so 7 years younger. Well, that's boring. You're down back to 22 now. Okay, but you're 22.
Sorry for boring you.
I don't know about you, but Ellory feels 22. Hampson says that. That's your inspiration.
And I do not hit that wolf, I assume, with a natural one.
Okay. So you start to sling the bolt of fire. It explodes in your hand, erupting out in flames. And somehow when the flames clear, you look like you got younger by a few years.
And I think I will leave it at that for now.
Okay. And that'll bring us up to the one at the south who didn't like that is now going to come towards you.
Cool.
It's going to get right up on you. And I need Felix and Ellory to roll dexterity saving throws.
7.
So both of you take 15 points of cold damage.
It's a natural 20. Apparently I'm doing real good on saves tonight.
Ellory takes 7 points of cold damage instead, as it runs up, releasing frost out in these sort of sharp, small icicles bearing into your skin.
I'm going to do absorb elements with my reaction to...
Down to 7?
Yeah.
Okay. And I'll bring us up to this one. This one will get right up on you. And I need Ball, Amson, and Vesper to make dexterity saving throws again.
Not advantage because I just took a shot of adrenaline.
13 for Ball.
18 for Vesper.
DC is pretty low, so both of you, instead of taking 21, you instead take 10. And Amson's going to take the full 21 now. And that will bring us up to Vesper.
I'll use his reaction. Just to do the absorb elements. So,
okay. So
actually,
down to 5.
No, you won't do it. Never mind.
Okay, so 10. So again, the frost erupts out of their breath, and that'll bring us up to Vesper.
Okay, everything is moving much slower around Vesper. She's going to scoot up here and cast Spirit Guardians around herself with her first action. So it's a 15-foot radius of angels. And then with my hasted action, I'm going to throw the returning dagger at the shitty wolf right here. Which is math 14.
Just hits.
Oh, sweet. It's 1d4. 5. For 5 piercing damage.
Okay, you quickly throw it. Sinks in.
And is it, Felix, is it a bonus action to return to me, or no?
Nope, just automatically blinks back to your hand.
Sweet. I don't think I have anything to do with my bonus action. No, so that's my turn.
Okay, and you're not feared from that roll.
Correct.
Because you should have done an advantage earlier. And that will bring us up to pull down here.
And it is difficult terrain within Spirit Guardians. It's half movement. Or rather, yeah, the creature speed is halved.
They'll get...
So that will be a wisdom save.
I think it's at the start of their turn.
No, it's when they enter it.
Oh yeah, that's right, on the first turn. So, natural 19.
Damn it. It's not a -3 or anything.
No, it's not. So it runs up, charging through these spinning angels with multiple wings, rushing towards you. And that is a 16 hit.
That will not, now that I am hasted.
Okay, so it lunges towards you with a bite of frost, going just under your shoulder as you duck under and spin. And that will bring us up to... This guy's going to rush towards Felix. That is a 10 to hit you, Felix.
No.
Yeah. Snaps at you, snaps towards you and Aeon, and just goes right through him. That'll bring us up to Ball.
Ball is going to 5-foot shift down below, or down 1 square down, and look over his shoulder and say, I suggest you move out of the way. And then he is going to, with his bonus action, Mantle of Flame, and with his action, he is going to use Ember Tempest at... I want to kill my whole 40, just regular at 3rd level. Ember Tempest is a 15-yard radius, so 15-foot radius. And the damage is... Sorry, when a creature enters the area on for the first time on a turn, or starts its turn there. So do they roll it now, or is it on their turn?
On their turn.
Okay. So then he's going to end his turn there. Or, yeah, I don't have any more abilities. Yeah, that's the end of my turn.
What was the radius on that?
Pardon me?
What was
15.
the radius? Okay.
It's 15. I tried to do it on the screen. Hopefully you can see the circle.
No.
Nope.
But
oops.
I can see the oars. I'm not sure why other players can't. But yeah, this 15-foot circle of embers begins swirling and burning around the ball, burning in the snow, melting it at his feet. And that will, if you're staying there, that will bring us up to this one.
Does that count as entering it?
No.
Oh, it did enter mine too.
So it is a dex save for me?
That's a 6 on the wisdom and a 10 on the dex.
19 radiant damage.
Wow. 25 fire damage.
Oh, the other one would have taken half damage. I'm sorry, I can't read today. Do you want to just take half of that?
Reroll for me.
Sorry. 10, so 5 on purple.
Okay. Dummy runs in, but is going to chomp towards the ball. And that is a 17 to hit.
That does not hit.
Chomps up towards your arm or isn't able to pierce through it, grabbing onto your arm or your arm briefly before you shake him loose. And that will bring us up to Amson, who is probably going to get out of this fire for step 1.
Unfortunately, he will get hit immediately. Because it's on the start of his turn, so it's a dex save.
Dex save for Amson. Amson's not looking great. He might heal himself on this turn. 13.
I don't think that makes it, so he will take 24 fire damage.
Jesus.
Howdy, not great. He's definitely going to get out of that. Or he's going to get out, and he's probably going to heal himself because he's not looking great.
he does have to make a concentration check on Beacon of Hope before he does that.
Thank you. George, can you just Jaeger everything for me? That is an 8. So Beacon of Hope drops. So I guess he's just going to do a regular healing spell, like a pleb. Is healing word all he has? No.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, well, he's going to do that because he needs it.
There are also healing potions in the pouch.
Okay. He's gonna do this for now because I don't know where the pouch is. Not great.
On his belt, most likely.
Oh, yeah, but I don't know. We'll work on this. So he's going to healing word himself. That's something. And he's going to take a potion as well. And I'll find out what that is in a second. And that will bring us up to Felix.
Alright, with my action, I'm going to send Aeon into the brain of this wolf in front of me, so he has to make an intelligence save.
Ooh, not great. 16, 14.
No. So he will take... Where are all my d8s? I'm going to put a level 1 spell into this, so it's going to be 5d8. 17... 32 points of psychic damage.
Ouch.
And the next attack against him has advantage. And then with my bonus action, I'm going to just kind of peer down at Amson looking very sad and burnt and cast Sanctuary on him.
Oh, I love that. And that will bring us up to Old Red. The larger wolf stained with chest stained red. Natural 19.
So, half would be 6.
Okay.
Oh, and then the dex save.
And he doesn't get his breath back. Natural 6, so he fails that.
19 fire damage.
He's going to rush ball and is going to attack. 15. Oh, I'm sorry, he has advantage actually. 15.
Nope.
Charging in, snapping, snarling, trying to get at your ball, but is unable to do so. And that will bring us down to Ellory. Yep.
Can I use my reaction then? Since he ended his turn within 5 feet of me, I'm going to use Skirmisher. And I'm going to get the fuck out of there. 10, 15. I can move 30 because I'm amazing right now. I think I'm just going to go. Will this take me out of balls?
You'll still be just barely in it. Does that disengage you?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
I'll scoot down here and help Ellory out. Okay, great. Sorry. I was trying to help kill that one.
No, that is awesome. You just prevented yourself from getting blown up.
Yeah. Okay.
That's clutch.
And that'll bring us up to Ellory.
Okay. So sorry, Vesper, but I am thunderstepping over to here. So that wolf next to me has to make a Constitution saving throw.
That is a 17. Oh, I'm sorry, 18.
That makes it so that would be 12, but he takes half, so 6 points of thunder damage.
Okay, so the thunder step erupts, rumbling the mountainside, shaking loose the snow from it. What else for you?
I believe that's all that I can do at the moment, so I'm just setting up for the next thing.
All right, that'll bring us up to this one. This next to Vesper. Starts his turn, so that's a wisdom save. That's a 16.
We'll just make it, so that's 14 half to 7.
Now fail on the deck save.
17 fire damage.
Time, I'll tell you that. This one does get the breath back and is going to kind of hulk its massive form over you and release in frost. Then that's a deck save for you.
That will be 17.
17 will make it, so instead of 20, you go down to 10 cold damage as the icicles and frost, sort of ninja stars of frozen snowflakes, slice into you. I'm trying to dodge some of them. That will bring us up to Orange, who is in the fire. So deck save. Fail.
24 fire damage.
Oh, I started within the radius, so I don't think I rolled my save for that.
I think you're actually outside of it.
Yeah, on my screen you're outside of the radius. So unless you ran through
I mean, when I started, I thought I was within 15 feet because I was right here.
Here, I'll do the circle on the map so you guys can see it.
Yeah, you should be outside of it.
Oh, shit.
And that'll bring us to Vesper.
Oh boy, okay. I'm gonna take... First action was gonna be a weapon attack against this wolf. Oh shit. I guess with the dagger, because that's what I had in my hand. Which is a dirty 20.
Yeah, it's...
For 6 piercing damage. Ooh. Bonus action to disengage. And then I'm going to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. One step back and go 50. And I'm going to throw the dagger at this wolf.
Okay.
My second action. Which is...
With advantage.
Oh.
He's psychically stunned for the moment.
Yes. Natural 16 plus 8, so a lot.
Hits.
Which is that plus 2d6. 17 piercing on that one. If you include this. Sneak attack.
Strikes into the chest. It's unable to dodge or move. It sinks in deep before appearing in your hand once more.
That will be my turn.
Okay. That'll bring us up to this guy. A fan of tell you that. And that's a 18 against the fire.
That will succeed, so he takes half damage, I'm pretty sure. Yes, half damage. So that would be 9 fire damage total. Or 18 half to 9. Actually, yeah, 18 half to 9.
And Sanctuary, is that just attack rolls or any aggressive action?
Any creature who targets the warded creature with an attack or harmful spell must make a wisdom saving throw. But it doesn't protect from like area of effect, such an explosion of a fireball. But if he's the only one in the target, I don't know.
Okay. Well, that is a 6. As he begins to move out of the fire of Ball and looking at Amson, kind of backed up against the cliff, moving, stalking towards him, breathes in as the frost coalesces around his mouth and then just kind of freezes, locks up. And instead we'll see if he can hit Ball from there. Not without re-entering it. He's gonna circle around instead. The Ball will be on deck. But first, the one you stunned, does a stun in at the start of his turn?
Yeah, there's no stun. It's just advantage on the next attack roll. So
gotcha. Okay. So he comes out of the psychic block and is going to see if he has his magical power back. He does not. So he's going to try to bite you. And that's a 22 to hit.
That will hit.
Okay. So that is
also
10.
Makes a wisdom save? Sorry?
Yeah. 10 piercing damage. And then make a strength saving throw.
Okay. Let's go. 16.
Okay, so he almost knocks you back. You kind of keep your footing, backpedaling a step or two to maintain it. And that is a natural 1 on the wisdom save.
So that's 12 radiant damage.
Angel spiraling around, and at that, you can see this creature almost drops to his legs before stumbling back to its feet and is beginning to run. So Felix, you would get an attack of opportunity as it looks like it's running away, if you wanted to take it.
Yeah, actually, as he starts to run away as the only wolf that is not burned, I am going to cast Thorn Whip and try and pull him back.
Okay.
That's a natural 1, so boo.
Okay. He continues to run. Jumping off the side. And that'll be his turn. Ball, you're on deck Actually, Ball, your turn. You're in the flames, surrounded by 3 wolves.
Can you 5-foot step diagonally?
Yeah.
Okay, I'd like to 5-foot step diagonally down to here. And then I would like to use Ball's giant heritage breath ability. Mm-hmm. I think it should be able to hit all 3 of these wolves.
Yeah.
And let me find out what I roll.
9, a 19, and a natural 20.
Okay,
on the deck save against it.
We'll make it, and I just can't figure out what I have to roll. I believe it's 3d8. Does that sound correct? 3d6. 3d6.
Okay.
Okay, so 16, 8, and 8.
Okay. Anything else for you, Ball?
Yeah. How does it work if I want to switch weapon? Like, let's say I'm holding onto a maul and I want to switch to a glaive. What's the is that action to do that?
It's an interaction. So, but you only have one interaction, so you can drop the maul and then use your interaction to pull out your other weapon, or you can use your interaction to put the maul up, but then you won't be able to get your other weapon out till next turn.
Kind of wish I did that differently. A little too late now. Yeah, I guess I'm just gonna, maybe my action will be, I'll use my action to dodge. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I can't do that. That's a bonus action is all I've got. It's the end of my turn.
Okay. I suppose you step back, flames roaring, circling around you with the embers. You release that battle cry of your fire giant heritage as the flames burst out towards 3 of the wolves, singeing their fur that are covered in frost. And that will bring us up to this guy. Amson, and then Felix is on deck. Let's see if he gets his special ability back. He does, and so he's going to frost you, Ball. Deck save at the beginning to see if he can survive. It's a 13.
That doesn't make it, so he takes 25 fire?
Well, as he's breathing in the frost into his open mouth and frosted fangs to release it upon you, the embers get to him first, burning him down as he falls sliding back against the rock behind him. So he's actually dead instead. And that will bring us up to Amson. See if he should have rolled that before. I think he gets one more. And he is going to inspire. Let's go with Vesper this time. It's a marvelous night for a wolf. I see the moon and the fear in their eyes. Marvelous night to kill wolves, yeah, baby. They better run for their lives. Bum bum. So it will inspiration to Vesper. And what else does Amson do? Fairy fire? Should he fairy fire?
Should he climb out of there and so he can get to safety?
Ooh, I like that. He should definitely climb out of this.
Yeah.
Let's give him an athletics check to get out of there. It's not super high. Yeah, he's able to pretty easily do that. Room there.
Go mock the running one, so it won't.
Ooh, yeah. Good call, George. Let's see what he rolls. Ooh, a 7. So it dies. Let's see if it rolls enough damage. Guys, it is always chaos when I'm piloting anybody. I suddenly forget what you guys do in combat. I'm trying to find out how much damage Vicious Mockery does.
I think none of us are volunteering to Jaeger because no one wants the responsibility of music.
Ooh, 3d4. That's enough. So it dies. Your mother must have been a wiener dog, and it's cold out. Well, that's enough. All right. Oh, shit, but it's dead now, so.
Wow.
Hey, listen. The song was
You're
all right,
playing
though.
a bard next campaign, or
The
I'm
song
right.
wasn't
Yes.
bad, you know?
It was amazing.
Okay,
No.
well,
That was an impressed wow.
It's so good.
the song kills him, and I guess that shitty comet does nothing, but it's dead now. And that will bring us up to Felix. Save me from myself.
Okay. Great. So now that I don't have to chase down a new blanket, I am going to... I don't really have that much, so I'll just... I'll bonus action move Aeon to the yellow, and he has to make an intelligence saving throw.
That's a 5.
Alright, I'm not going to enhance it this time, so that is just 3d8 plus 5. But I rolled well, so 23 psychic damage, and the next attack against him has advantage.
Jeez. Okay. So as that shock flows through him, he kind of locks up stunned, looking around confused, trying to orient itself once more. And that will bring us up to Red. See if we get his mystical power back. And I think he actually does. Yeah. But at first he has to make a dex save, which is a fail. So ball gun roll fire damage.
24 fire damage.
Jesus. Make a dex save for me, Paul.
That's an 8.
That is 19 cold damage.
I will use my reaction to have that. Do I round down or up?
Down. So it's 8. No. 9.
9 damage, and then I gotta do a concentration save. So is that the full natural 20?
I think a double natural 20 will do it, yeah. So it will cold breath on you, and it is not liking the situation. So it's going to get out of the fire. So we can jump over this. This is far. And that will bring us up to Ellory.
Okay, so that moving closer to me is going to affect how I was planning to line up my shot. I think if I move back this to... Can you see the line that I'm drawing?
Yes, ma'am.
So if I move back here, it looks like I can have all 3 of them in a line?
I think so.
So I am going to scooch over there and look down at my hand and then hold it out and send some yellow lightning towards them, using Valtameri's gift that she has given me for the first time.
As that yellow lightning streaks, pulsing at first out of your hand before streaking across the snow and through the ember storm of Ball. Go ahead and roll damage.
Okay.
And as this happens, you can hear a loud lightning strike, briefly deafen all of you, and hear the remnants of it rippling and echoing off the walls into where you hear rumbling in the sky above.
26 is full damage, so 13 and a half.
The large wolf with the chest stained blood red fails, 23 damage. The second one fails as well, burning, almost falling to the ground in Ball's ember fire. The last one actually failed as well.
All right.
Still on its feet, looking kind of tough. The rest of them are looking like they're on their last legs. And that'll bring us up to the wolves, unless there's something else.
That's it.
To this wolf in the south, burning flames, kind of looking at Ball, and also looking to run. That's a 9 on the deck save.
28 fire damage.
Yep. And so that one's gone. And that brings us up to Vesper. You're on deck, but first this other wolf in the flames. That is a 10 on the deck save. So, two of them drop down dead in Ball's burning inferno. And that brings us up to Vesper. So there's one that's running far into the distance. There's 2 left standing where you can see them on the outskirts of Ball's flyers.
This one's dead, right? This guy up here?
Yes. Yeah. Viciously mocked by Amson.
Then I will run up to the cliffside here and look down at Purple, who's now my radius, and I will I'm going to use my regular action to cast, what was the thing I was going to cast? Oh, Toll the Dead. So it needs to make a wisdom save.
Natural 1.
Oh. I don't need to use my other. Oh, yeah. That's 14 necrotic damage.
Still standing.
Oh, damn.
Not for much longer, though.
Dope. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna use, my inspiration is a D8? Or D10? I thought it was a D10.
I believe it's still a D8.
Cool.
D8.
Just in case. So I'm gonna then throw the returning dagger at this wolf. But that's a natural 19, so I don't need to worry about it. For 5 damage.
Still standing, but not for much longer at this point. Burned, wounded.
Okay, how's Amson looking?
Not great.
Cool. I'm gonna healing word him as my bonus action then.
Dope.
At, at 2nd level.
Okay.
So it'll be 3, 4, 5, 9. God, I hate doing this math. Is 13 to him.
Much better, Absent. Oh, Vesper, thank you. Mm-hmm. And that will bring us up to Purple, who's in the horrible radiuses, which is all of your stuff. That is a 12 total. Starting in Vesper's radius as the multiple winged angels spiral around.
6, 7, 8, 9 radiant.
That's enough. They spiral around, slicing into it with radiant light and energy and silver, spiraling around as it falls to the ground. There's just one left. That one's gone. And up to Ball. There's just one left standing at this point.
The Ball will just run at it. Is that okay?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So I'll get to here, and then Ball will swing at it, doing the Phoenix Blade with his giant maul. Huge maul. Does a 23 hit.
Sure does.
Okay, so it will be 10 bludgeoning plus 17 fire plus, because I did the absorb elements, I believe that is a 1d6 of cold. An extra 5 of the cold damage.
You notice the cold doesn't have any impact as you rush up to it, slamming the maul into it. You actually hit it on its shoulders and bring it down onto its belly in the snow. The frost kind of is expelled from when you absorbed it earlier onto it. Doesn't seem to hurt it at all, or bother it as it slowly is trying to get to its feet, is just barely alive.
I will burn 2 sorcery points to attack it again.
Okay.
I don't think a 9 will hit.
9 will miss.
And that's the end of my turn.
And that will bring us up to Amson, who will... I don't know if he needs to inspire anybody, but...
Maybe he hangs on to it in case we need them for
Good point,
skills.
Yeah. He'll just hang on to his inspiration, and that'll bring us up to Felix. As there's just one wolf barely alive trying to get to its feet in the burning inferno of Ball.
Well, disgusted by the burning hair smell, I guess I am going to tug at my glove again, which will flash red, and I will cast Firebolt. Is it 27 to hit?
Yeah.
Can you from the angle that you're at right now, with Ball in between?
Yes, you would have to go left or right to reduce the cover.
Okay, I've got the speed.
But yeah, you should be able to do that.
Yeah, not a big deal on the terrain that we have.
Yeah, and there is some cover, but with a 27, you're still able to hit him.
12 fire damage.
Yeah. How do you want to finish it off?
Just kind of pitying it. Just send one last blast of fire to the face. Or whatever I can hit as it's turning away.
Okay. Putting it out of its misery. As a few moments pass and no more wolves seem to come out of the shadows, there's a huge spot of melted snow beneath Ball from the embers. And a number of wolves, most of them burnt. There's a few that aren't burnt as bad, as everything begins to settle down and come quiet in this mountain pass once more.
Vesper will head over to this wolf, and I'm going to start trying to harvest the pelt. I'm sure partway through it, I slump over onto the wolf for a moment as the haste waits.
Okay. Yeah, begin to carve in. Give me a survival check.
Okay. I'm good at those. I'm going to use my inspiration for this. Both DM and possible reasons. That will be a 29.
Okay. It'll take you a good 10-15 minutes to get it all off. It's a large wolf. From paw to shoulder, it's maybe 6 feet tall. It's a massive creature. But you can slowly carve its pelt off. And this one was actually mostly clean, not burned by the fire at all. And you're able to, after about 10 or 15 minutes, get that off. As Vesper's working on that, what are the rest of you guys doing?
I kind of grin up at Ball and say, kind of reminds me of that time you ripped the jaw off a direwolf. And then I cast Healing Word on myself at 2nd level.
And maybe in that moment, that's when, like, Ball's kind of decided that we're having wolf for dinner. So just as Ellory is saying that, Ball is kind of in the process of grabbing the wolf by the jaw and preparing to kind of find where to start cutting it. And then looks over to Ellory and then looks back at the wolf and just kind of chuckles under his breath.
Felix is going to go over to Amson and attempt to help fix his burnt hair into something presentable.
Oops. Alex gets back next week and it's like, yeah, so what'd I miss? Well, you're bald.
His little page boy cut just got a little shorter. That's all.
I forgot to update my skills. That was a 30. So I boosted my wisdom.
Yeah, so about 10 or 15 minutes of working on that, you're able to get it detached. You'll probably want to either tan the inside or line it with something, but this eventually could be a cloak that would basically make you resistant to or acclimated to very cold weather.
As I am proficient in leatherworking, can I work on tanning the hide?
Yeah, absolutely. You'll have some time over the next travel to be able to probably get that done. Do you want to go ahead and make a roll for now?
Leatherworking?
Yeah.
Okay, let me... what stat would that use?
I'd say either dexterity or maybe... God, I hesitate to say intelligence with you, but knowing where to do it.
Dex makes sense.
Okay.
Okay, so that is... 17.
Okay, yeah, solid. But it'll take you a little bit of time to get it done. But yeah, you feel pretty confident that you can get that done and make it into a cloak or whatever you're going for.
Cool.
Okay.
If I can, when Ball sees everyone kind of harvesting these wolves for kind of cloaks and furs, pelts and all of that, Ball will ask Felix for some help doing the same with one of the wolves. Maybe this red wolf, unless someone else claims it. And basically do that. You know, like how the shamans that have the giant, like, wolf skull thing as like a cloak? Ball kind of wants to go for that, but even, especially because it's a giant burned wolf cloak skull fur thing.
Go ahead.
I was going to say there's a definitive sneer when you bring up trying to make something out of that disgusting burned wolf husk, but he'll help.
Ball tries to assist you by casting mending on any kind of places where you don't cut it quite as nice as you wanted to.
Okay. Give me a survival check from one of you at advantage. And I will say this purple wolf is burnt, but not as bad as the others that were standing in it for a good while.
Oh, good. Then I would like to also take that pelt.
Do you want me to roll, Ball? My survival's not terrible.
My survival's +0, so I prefer if you didn't.
Great. I have not Vesper level, but...
And Vesper, give me another for that other pelt.
Yep.
22.
Oh. No, that's a natural one.
Okay. So Felix and Ball, you're able to actually salvage a pretty sizable cloak from the red wolf. It was the largest one. And with Ball's mending, you can kind of actually salvage a pretty solid cloak of dark wolf fur. There's a few parts where it's a little patchy from the burning, but pretty good. And you're able to get the skull out as well if you want to attach that as a shoulder pauldron or something.
Subscribe.
Or on the head, whatever you're going for. Vesper, you start digging into this one, and the ice that's kind of coalesced on its back kind of begins to flake off as your hands become numb, shaking a little bit from the after effects of the haste. You can get some fur off of it, but it's heavily mangled. You could make a door mat out of it or something, but otherwise it's pretty mangled.
Okay, well, some is better than nothing.
Okay. So you guys have one pretty pristine wolf cloak and one kind of burnt but pretty well salvaged wolf cloak. Sounds like Felix is going to be working on turning those into cloaks or fur armor or whatever it is you want to turn them into. Anything else for you guys before we dive back into the next leg of the journey?
Not for right at this moment, but I think after this, I would like to take watch with Ball.
Okay.
And
I'll say just since it's 11, do you guys want to go a little bit longer and finish this journey up so we'll pick up, or do you guys need to go to bed?
I'm okay.
Good either way.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. So we'll go a little longer and see. So you guys pick up your cloaks, your furs, which you can gather everything back up. Now you guys don't get a long rest, but you could potentially take a short rest to spend some hit die if you wanted to. So you don't get any of your spells back, but you can potentially spend some hit die. You won't get those back either, but you can spend them if you guys wanted to.
I feel like that's probably good for Amson, at least.
Okay.
And I will use my medic feat to try and heal you all. I have to roll really badly not to do that, so that's 1, 2...
Sorry.
5. Cool, so each one of us can take 1 full hit die worth of healing.
Nice. That's perfect, actually, for me.
At this point, I have to roll a 1 or a 2. I'm gonna do 2.
I will say, during your scene with Ball, Felix is off at some corner of the campsite, grumbling to himself and scraping at wolf hides.
Poor Felix might dislike all of this outdoor travel stuff even less than Ellory did in the past.
Actually, he is proficient in survival, and I imagine as an archaeologist he's done a bit. It's not that, it's more just...
The smelly wolf guts and such?
Yeah.
Burnt fur?
Melty, burnt wolf fur.
Felix likes traveling, but it has to be first class.
He's a glamper.
Well,
yeah.
he could he could sleep in the sphere.
He would prefer a carriage.
I'll help Felix, because I don't mind gore and stuff, so I can at least help clean stuff.
Okay. So you guys rest up a little bit for the night and continue on through this mountain pass for another 4 days. Go ahead.
I was going to have a quick talk with Ball.
Okay.
Probably that night, or
sure,
not long after.
That night is Vesper and Felix are kind of working on the cloaks.
Yeah, so I think as we've been traveling, Ellory has been not particularly chatty, like not super silent either, like talking when she needs to when it's practical, but not really getting involved in conversation more than is necessary. But I think as we're sitting there, she kind of leans against Ball's arm, kind of casually, and says, "You know, I've been thinking about what you were saying about the gods abandoning us. And I don't think they have. At least, I can't speak for Aine, but Valtameri is with us. But I still think that you're doing what's right for you. This path that you're going on, it feels right for you."
I feel that too. I don't think, or I don't know if every god has abandoned us, but mine did. I don't think this one will.
I don't think so either. I have a good feeling about this. Anyway, I guess I just wanted to make sure that you know that I'm with you. You know? For this, for finding your history, I've got your back.
That's probably where Ball will kind of pat you on the back and say, "Me too. I think we all do."
Yeah.
I just hope Amson's okay with his new haircut.
Well, it's about time he had a change of haircut. A new style. And I kind of just, I kind of run my hand along the shaved part of my head, which has gotten a little bit cold in this snowy weather. It's nice to have a change every once in a while.
Ball nods and says, "Yes, I think change is good."
Even if it's hard sometimes. But I just kind of smile at him and pat his hand.
Yeah, I don't think Ball says much. I think we just kind of maybe look off into the distance. Maybe it fades to like Anderson trying to fix his hair.
Okay. And as we continue forward, you'll spend the next 4 days or so kind of crossing this mountain pass, climbing high, but and through this sort of narrow passageway. All the while, Felix is working with Vesper on tanning the hides. She rolled a 17 already, and go and roll another one for the other set.
Cool. And yeah, we were actually figured out that if they carry me in the sphere, theoretically, I can just work as they travel.
Dope.
That is, excuse me, another 17.
Okay. So sufficiently over these next couple of days through the mountain pass, working in the sphere on tanning these 2 hides, you're able to do so, and pretty effectively as well. What are the end products? What do they look like?
I think I divide the one Vesper and I took into 2 cloaks and or blankets. They're a little oversized. You can wrap them around you, but mostly functional. Just thick wool cloaks. Ball, I'll go to his design specifications.
So, Ball, what do you tell Felix to design?
Oh,
Keep our beat.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he gets what he described earlier with the wolf skull, though it is in protest.
Okay.
And Felix is grumbling about how gaudy it is the whole time, but he does it.
So Ball's wearing his. Who's wearing the others?
One is mine. I'm cold.
Yeah, you've been working on it. If Ellie or Amson aren't adamant, Vesper will take it.
Ellery's pretty happy with her velvet cloak, I think.
Phenomenal. I will take the next look.
Okay, so you guys feel nice and warm and are effectively acclimated to this weather. Doesn't bother you at all.
Oh, I will say I do cut armholes in them so that they can be more like a mantle that they can wrap around so that you can still function effectively in combat and not freeze.
Nice. All right. So Felix accomplishes that over the next 4 days. As you cross the mountain pass, reaching to the northwest side of the Rust Ridge, and begin heading north according to the expedition dossier you were giving. It's a solid week's journey. 6, 7, 8 days as you're heading north. Towards the end of this journey, you begin to come into these strange passageways with long cliffs that reach up in straight 90-degree angles. And they kind of wind almost maze-like. It's as if glass shattered. And there's this just kind of spider web of canyons with these glaciers on either side as you're kind of wandering and trying to follow the dossier through all this. About midway through this journey, as you're entering into the Hildgrad range and the Hildgrad walls, which are these glaciers to either side forming these canyons, a snowstorm begins to fall. Strong winds push snow and flurries throughout the canyons as hard hail begins to fall. Some of you in the cloaks are able to last longer, but eventually the others are beginning to reach frostbite and possibly. Good.
What's the terrain like here?
So it's these big canyons, essentially.
Is there a safe spot we can hide the sphere?
Maybe. Is that how you want to overcome this?
Yes.
Okay. So everyone wants to get into the sphere and hide this sphere somewhere where it won't be found?
Or roll away.
Okay.
I mean, I can stay out. We can take shifts.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. We
take
shifts. The people who have the wolf cloaks can spend some time possibly moving forward with the sphere while the rest of us are inside and just switch as we go.
Yes.
Okay.
Or we could even we can spread it out a little bit more by having those of us who don't have the cloaks borrow it from somebody who does for a little while.
Yeah.
That sounds reasonable. Yeah. So someone who's leading roll with advantage because of the cloaks. I'm guessing a survival check is what it sounds like.
I don't think I've done that yet, other than the cloak, so I can still do that as a skill challenge, right?
Yeah, you haven't used it in reference to an obstacle.
I will do that then, because I have a plus 12.
And add advantage because of the cloaks.
Yes. Which makes that a 27.
Yeah. You're able to, between the cloaks and also understanding how the wind is flowing through these canyons, you can lean to the left or the right side of the wall and kind of use it to block part of the flurries of hail falling from the sky and the winds, biting winds rushing towards your face. You can kind of use the walls to mitigate that some, explaining that to the others, taking shifts, and you finish up the last 6, 7, 8 days as the blizzard passes on. Taking no cold damage, suffering no ill effects from the blizzard passing over. On the last night, we'll say, as you're kind of finding a place to rest for the night with the sphere, you can see these lights moving through the canyon, these glowing orbs drifting through. They're larger than you expected. They're maybe the size of a volleyball, maybe. They're kind of drifting through the canyon. First one, but then 2, 3, a dozen, 2 dozen, moving through the canyon towards the right, drifting through. You realize what day it is.
Festival of Orbs?
Seems so.
Well, guess it's a good thing we stopped that, demonic incursion.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's too bad you couldn't see what the festival was like in Embershore.
I'm pretty happy we left when we did.
Yeah, Felix, I know.
Curious thought, how close can I get to the orbs?
They're very slowly drifting. So the first time you see them, it's maybe 150 feet away, 200, but you could very easily, if you wanted to, catch up to them.
Yeah, I want to go.
So you catch up walking through the canyon with your winter wolf cloak on, moving up to it, and it's floating maybe 6, 7 feet in the air.
I'm going to go along
drifting.
And see what he's doing.
Sure. See this kind of pale blue orb drifting slowly.
Just out of curiosity, I'm going to cast Detect Thoughts.
That's very interesting. That works. It's level for free, and then you can probe, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Technically only works on creatures, I think. It says read the thoughts of certain creatures, but we'll see.
Okay. You reach out with Detect Thoughts and projecting your mind through Aeon towards this entity, this glowing orb, and you feel this confusion, lost, and sorrow, and yet a bit of deliberativeness, like it knows it has to do this, but it doesn't understand why or where it's going, but it has to move this way. It's being pulled by something greater, thoughts of home. It's going home.
Curious.
Does this happen where you're from, too? Or is it more of a Severland thing?
God.
It does. It's rare in your lands, but it does happen.
Every once in a while. They don't make as big of a deal of it. I guess because it's not as regular, but...
I wonder why they do this.
I don't know. Doesn't seem like it knows either. It just has to.
They're kind of beautiful in a sad way.
You'd know all about that, wouldn't you?
What's that supposed to mean, Felix?
That you are an attractive woman, and you're very sad a lot.
Huh. Well, unlike some people, I don't spend a lot of time thinking about my own attractiveness.
You should. It would help. Look, for the record, I think it's good that you are emotional sometimes. It helps me see different perspectives. Usually wrong ones, but different, and sometimes that's helpful.
Well, I'm glad this whole emotionless thing works for you. Seems like it would be a lot easier that way. I just know that for me, every time I've tried to close off my emotions and control them, those have been the times when I've been in the least control of myself.
Well, there's not really time to properly study that and see if we could come to a conclusion, but...
You were about to say fix that, weren't you?
No.
Uh-huh. I don't think you were necessarily wrong about the whole Sarnellis thing. I do know that I had to try. I had to do something.
I get it. You're called to fix things you see as a problem. I'm the same. I just have focused on a very particular problem.
Well, let's see what we can do to solve that one.
You have me. And I am literally the smartest man in the world. So, I think we'll be fine.
Well, I'll just have to take your word for that. Come on.
As you guys are pushing into the Hillgrad range, moving there, trying to follow the dossier as best you can, you guys begin to hear, you hear this loud growl kind of echoing through the canyons. And you can see flying over, you get a brief glimpse of it. Large, white, winged creature, scaled, large legs and claws hanging beneath it. A long tail as a white dragon flies over, kind of looking down into the canyons, searching for food. A second one follows it. You know now there are white dragons in this area, and they're hunting. How do you overcome this obstacle for the last leg of this journey?
Well, this is fun. I think the thing to do is, especially because there's two of them, we probably want to figure out a way to hide.
Yeah.
We have one person invisible and just walk around with the snow globe.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's kind of the approach that I was thinking.
Alright, I've got invisibility. Who wants it?
Ellory's the stealthiest, isn't she?
I think so.
Like, they're pretty high up, right? Like, well, I guess they would be able to see the path we make. Like, footprints.
Presumably.
Snow.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, they're hunting.
Levitate plus invisibility?
Well, then they can't move, and I can't concentrate on both.
Well, which way is the wind blowing?
I could do rope trick and give you an hour of someplace to hide out that's invisible and extraplanar.
I'm not stealthy and I don't want to lead this, but I have those boots so I can hide. I can change the tracks.
I was also going to say, I didn't return Melly's Dimension Door cloak that I borrowed. So,
You stole it.
listen, I'm gonna return it next time I see her. But that could get us away from the footprints that we have already left. So that if they spot those and investigate that, we won't be hiding there.
Wait, we have a broom, don't we? We are not allowed to use that.
Well, I don't think the broom will go invisible. So it'll just be a flying stick.
That's not very tasty, though, so.
What if we put snow on the stick?
It still would be a flying stick with snow on it.
Oh, if I use Dimension Door from the cloak, would that break invisibility?
I mean, I think you can use the cloak to cast Dimension Door, or does it just... It depends on how it's phrased.
That's a good question.
This dragon says they aren't to scale, are they?
Yeah, they're 400 feet tall.
Hey, you don't know how old they are. So I'm asking.
All right, so I can either get most of it. A ball has to be in the ball.
You can cast.
Yeah, so that would drop invisibility.
Okay.
I could rope trick, and that gives us an hour of being not here and hoping that they're gone. We can invisibility and try and hide out. But I think that actually might be worse.
All right, let's just kill them.
No.
My suggestion then would be to Dimension Door and then rope trick. Oh wait, no, because well, I could Dimension Door with Felix out and everybody else in the sphere to not leave footprints, and then rope trick.
Sounds good.
Okay.
One option is Ball could bar step 600 feet away. Wouldn't technically use you would just see one set of footprints every 60 feet, but you'd also see a giant ball.
Let's try plan A, and then if we really need to run, you can use that for a while, right?
I think it says a minute, but I have 2 5th level spells if we really need to.
Okay. Let's try rope tracking.
Yeah, who's leading this, and how are you doing it?
So almost everybody into the sphere except for Felix and me. And then cloak to Dimension Door as far down this canyon as I can see, I guess. That's within range. And then rope trick from Felix.
Okay. With the idea that you're going to stealth?
Yes.
Okay. Give me a stealth roll. Definitely at advantage after all this.
Okay.
Just to kind of flavor how this happens.
Okay. Okay, so that's 19, if I'm doing my math right.
Sure. So everyone rushes into the sphere. You and Felix Dimension Door. You can find a place, a canyon, where it stretches near the maximum, maybe 400 and something feet. Dimension Door down there. And then once there, Felix cast rope trick. I think this is the first time you're doing this. What does this look like?
So I actually have a pre-cut 10-foot length of rope that I will cast it on. And there are little knots in it to make it easy to climb. And I will just, a little pink circle will appear that's only visible from underneath it while the rope is dangling. And we scramble in, and it is a very nondescript room. Like maybe a couple pillows on the floor. There's no need for anywhere for him to sleep. Probably a desk.
Okay. So you, Ellory, and the sphere. Oh boy.
Put a dimension into a dimension into a dimension.
Is that a problem? I don't know.
Well, let's look at
the rope trick is extra dimensional.
Oh, well, that's probably
But if it's in an interdimensional...
It says placing a bag of holding inside an interdimensional space created by a haversack, portable hole, or similar item.
Okay.
So
this
I assumed it wouldn't be, or else we'd have to worry about like every demi-plane.
Yeah, okay, that's a good point. Okay, so it's completely fine. Good. So you guys go into this room, hide out. Says your desk, a few pillows. And after an hour or so passes, and you come out of it, you don't hear any beats of wings. You don't hear any growls echoing through the canyons. And you're able to press on.
Definitely keeping an eye on the sky as we move forward.
Absolutely. And as you guys do so, and continuing through the Hillgood Range, the last leg of this journey, it's been almost 24 days, heading the last kind of leg of it in the Hillgood Range with these canyons, and eventually following it to enter this large canyon, but it's hold off. It doesn't continue on the other side. It's kind of ends, a dead end. And in it, there's a few scattered trees, a few rocks. But you see these monuments rising up before you, visible as silhouettes at first, beyond the wind and the snow flurries being picked up. And as you get closer, you see them, these three large monuments, one of a sword made of stone kind of stricken into the ground, one of a massive hammer of an anvil slammed into the ground, and the third of an axe driven into the ground as well, forming this triangle of large stone monuments that raise up, each one maybe 30 feet or so, something like that. And in the center, kind of partially covered by snow, tilted to the side, is a skull of a dragon. One of the horns is kind of broken off at this point, and as you get closer, you can see these runes, and they're in giant. They're not exactly saying anything, but they're giants of strength and power, courage, carved into these stone monuments, but also on the skull itself. And up against the stone monuments are these simple rectangular box altar-like stones, kind of stacked up, similarly carved. It looks like things would be placed, but at the present, the three altars next to the three monuments, two are empty. Nothing at the sword, nothing at the axe, but there is something covered in snow at the one next to the hammer monument.
I will turn and look to Ball.
Yep.
I think we found the place in that story.
Everyone looks at Ball. Ball looks at them and says, "What are you looking at? I don't know what to do."
I don't think any of us do. But maybe start by taking a look.
Okay. Ball will take a look.
Okay. You approach it and swipe away some of the snow, this stark white snow that's covered itself, revealing a large instrument laid on the stone altar, a weapon. The handle is massive. It's maybe 5 feet long. And at the end is this massive warhammer head in the shape of an anvil. It's of light-colored, maybe steel. But you can see the metal. It's been folded in with something that almost has a dark charcoal color. Maybe iron or something else has been folded into this lighter steel. So it has this Damascus pattern to it of darker iron and lighter steel, this sort of cold and coal look to it. It's cold to the touch. It's been resting under snow for who knows how long. You can see on the top of the anvil, even now, still strangely kind of dark soot marks on its head from where it's hit something or when it's been used not only as a weapon but as a tool, an anvil for crafting. It's large. This isn't meant for any medium-sized creature. This is meant for someone massive, big, As you take it in your hands, the weight is immense, but well balanced. You can see giant runes upon the head where the soot is, on both sides of the anvil. This used to be to hit things, or to craft.
What do the runes say?
You see on one side the fire giant, not word, but a giant symbol for fire, power. And you recognize it because it's though the tattoo on your chest that's been burned into it is more complex than this. The core central symbol is the same, of fire. And Ball, you know in Giant that it's not, this rune in particular isn't just heat, fire, but it's a mix between the elemental definition and passion, anger, fury. It's kind of a mix of those two definitions, this word. And on the other side is a name you recognize. Research you've done. Let me pull it up. You see a name on the other side. Avelma. The name of the hammer given to First Cinderrock from the story that Amson and Felix found in the Norbel Reserve Library.
And you said I was able to lift it, or I haven't quite tried yet?
What's your strength score?
Currently it is 16.
You can lift it. You have a feeling that someone smaller would have to be stronger in order to lift this, but the massive size fits your hands well.
I think, I'm guessing this is this weapon is on a pretty large altar, as it has to be able to hold this weapon on it.
Yeah.
So I think there's kind of this imagery of, Ball almost kind of, steps onto the altar, where they put this weapon kind of between his feet, and almost kind of almost deadlifts it up. Does that make sense? Like a alternating grip deadlift thing. I'm pretending like I'm some kind of weightlifter. I'm not. And then just kind of picks it up such that, it's like an altar of Ball holding the weapon above him.
And as you lift it into your hands, you're looking at the runes, you feel a sensation on your chest. Not quite pain, but this kind of tingling, burning sensation. You can see the rest of you, as you watch Balls lift or stand onto the altar and lift this hammer, this anvil hammer. You see the rune kind of gently burning very dimly on his chest before the rune of fire, fury does the same on the anvil. And the letters on the bottom side, Avelmer, do the same. It melts off the layer of frost that's accumulated upon it for who knows how long, as Ball stands upon the altar, lifting the hammer.
Vesper has been digging into her bag, and she pulls out the prophecies that Felix found, or wrote for us, and flips through and finds the one about Ball. Lend him your hammer and make for him an aegis of ember, for he will carry the banner and precede the return of the Father.
This was waiting for you.
Why would it be here? And what am I supposed to do with? And he just kind of, he doesn't finish the sentence, and he's just kind of, looking over the hammer in his hand, or in his hands.
Well, if the prophecy speaks true, precede the return of the Father, apparently, whoever that is.
Is the ruby crown on my bicep, is that doing anything? Or does it look any different?
Looking down, you can see the similar burning, when it's in sort of its passive state. A gentle burning in the ruby is doing what it normally does. It doesn't burst into flames or anything like that. Though you're not sure, but maybe it's pulsing brighter than it was before. It's hard to tell.
I think Ball's going to just try to kind of swing the hammer in the air a couple times. Just like when a soldier picks up a new weapon and he's kind of testing it out.
Give me an attack roll.
I don't know what fires to add. I think that's proficiency and strength.
Yeah.
19.
Okay. You swing it around and a couple times, and the first time you can definitely feel the mass and the weight of it kind of pulling you to the side, and it takes a lot of strength to adjust to it, to that momentum, and redirect it for the second swing. But after a couple swings, you kind of get used to the weight and can use that momentum of this massive anvil to your advantage, kind of swinging and then using that to spin into a turn for a second strike, and you're beginning to get used to this weight, this heft of this massive weapon. It feels right.
Are there footprints anywhere in the snow around us?
Yeah, I was going to ask similar
survival check. So I'll say 2 can make survival checks, or 1 at advantage.
You want me to do it at advantage, or?
I already just rolled, so.
Okay. 15.
12.
Looking around, Ellory, the snow has fallen, seems pretty consistently, so it's kind of hard to get anything fresh. With a 15, Vesper, there's a few spots that it seems like some of the snow is more compact and lower, like maybe someone's been walking or something has compacted the snow and it's just now filling up again from fresh snow. It's really hard to tell. I will say, as you're kind of exploring around, you do notice there's a form that's kind of laying on a rock that's just barely sticking out of the snow. This body that's maybe 20 feet long, this skeletal form in hide and armor that's mostly decomposed at this point, kind of frozen on a rock to the right.
Wow. Vesper will go over to that then.
Yeah, going over, and you can see it's 20 to 22 feet long or tall when it was standing, humanoid in shape. And you can see a number of rocks that have just been simply stacked on top of each other. Mostly covered by snow, but probably reaching 6 feet, as the snow's kind of creeping up to your shins, almost to your knees for most of you.
So did these rocks look placed here deliberately, like post-burial?
Looks like it, yeah.
Well, I knew I prepared this spell for a reason. Does anyone have any questions for this person? Ball?
I think Ball's distracted. I think Ball is still kind of it's a weird feeling where he feels like he's more familiar with this weapon than he should be, and he's still just trying to process that. And you see him kind of just, he's just preoccupied with the weapon at the moment.
To the others?
I think Ellory is similarly preoccupied by watching Ball.
Well, if no one else has anything, I have dozens. Who is he? What happened to him? What is this place?
We get 5.
Where are the giants? Any of those would probably be helpful.
All right. Where are the giants? That's 3. We've got 2 more.
Does he know what the son of Vladus is supposed to do? And who is the father?
Right. And with that, Vesper will cast Speak with Dead.
Okay. And as you cast this spell upon this skeletal figure that's 20, 22 feet tall, and it was living, covered in snow and frost, the skull kind of creeps over to face you, the jaw opening. And this skull is like this size. It's bigger than like one of those exercise balls. It's this massive skull that opens up. You can see faint little light blue lights in the eyes, kind of ignite just barely, focusing in your direction.
And Vesper will address your questions in Giant. Hello, we're here, hoping to learn more about the son of Vladus and the father. Can you tell us who you were?
He begins speaking in Giant, which you understand. I was Befsok, hunter of the ice and snow, Valas Moor.
What is this place where we're at now?
This is Svornfjell, sacred land, Lioguntun, sacred to Vladus and her sons and daughters, where they killed black ice.
Sorry, I'm frantically scribbling down notes. Where are the giants? Where have they gone?
To the north, Nixgot, Mountain of Fire. And since you know Giant, probably not as well as Ball, but the word he uses is again that word that sort of means fire, the elemental entity, but also fury, rage, passion. It's a word that means kind of both.
What is the son of Vladus supposed to do when he arrives here?
The last son of Vladus is said to lift the hammer, and will be the first to awaken the father, Dyrus. He will awaken the flames of fury.
I'm translating to Felix through the pouch this whole time, and then I'll look to him. Should I ask what that will mean for the rest of the world? Or
That seems like a better question.
what will happen when the father's awoken to the rest of the world?
When the father returns, and the mantle is broken, so will he sit upon the throne of the white tomb of Tyneir. The kingdom of the Yoguntun will return.
That's 5 questions.
And the skull kind of falls back into place. Jaw unloosing once again.
I don't know if I like the sound of that.
It could be concerning, but it really depends on what they're trying to conquer, I guess.
I'll look back, just watching Ball for a moment. You should tell him. I just don't know what this... Do you have any other prophecies that make sense with that? As I'm flipping through the book.
Not that immediately ring a bell. Well, I mean, you know him best, so it's up to you if we should tell him. I think we all have to have a discussion of what we do from here. This had less answers about Ball than I think we were hoping for.
Yeah. There was not quite footprints, I don't think. But there's been something here recently, so I don't know if we should linger.
As you guys are having this conversation and Ball's testing the hammer, there's a wind from the entrance to this sort of dead-end canyon that's beginning to move in your direction. Blowing wind and a mist of snow flurry. A wall of it that's you can't really see through. It's just kind of creeping towards you from the south.
I'm just gonna look to Vesper. What do you think the odds of that being good are?
Slim to none. I'll hike back over to the Ball. Something's coming.
And as you all look, you can see that wall of frost mist that maybe goes up 40 feet or so. Is kind of slowly moving forward, kind of covering and making the trees and rocks that you pass by to get here disappear into it.
I think Ball will step down from the altar, and he'll look to Vesper and say, "Whatever it is, I feel ready for it." And then he's going to slowly start to walk towards the wind that's picking up.
Okay. So we see this image of Ball to the right, kind of walking through the snow, trudging. The snow's up to most of your knees, but to Ball it's only his mid-shin. As he's kind of trudging through it, holding this anvil hammer of the Alfmer. The runes glowing dimly on the hammer itself and on his chest. Brief, intermittent pulsing of burning on his crown around his arm as he's moving towards the wall of wind and frost to the left. It's coming to meet him. And as they get closer, you begin to see these floating lights, these orbs, about 20-ish feet in the air, kind of slowly, barely being able to present themselves through this obscuring frosted mist. You can see a pair of them. 1, 2, 3. You see maybe 6 or 7 of them kind of forming a wall as this mist is creeping forward. Then you hear as 2 of the glowing blue lights come closer. You can see a silhouette of a humanoid form begin to appear, rising up 22 feet into the air. This figure stepping to the edge of the mist, then stepping out. As you see this giant with pale blue skin, a beard of white that goes down to the center of his chest. In his left hand, he's holding this staff. And from it is hanging this sphere of blue. You can see the frost coalescing around it, the giant runes carved into it. In his right hand, he's holding loosely a spear that he's using. It's really more of a javelin, but it's the size of a lance for the rest of you. Holding it down, not aggressively, as he looks upon you. He speaks in giant. And for those of you who speak it, you hear the words, "So it has begun." And that's where we'll leave off the session. We'll pick up next session.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Back to the Story. For notifications when an episode goes live, you can find us on SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, or wherever you prefer to get your podcasts. Download the app of your choice and subscribe or favorite us there. We also have a YouTube channel called Back to the Story, an actual play podcast. If you'd like to contact us, you can tweet us at back2_the_story. If you can't fit it into 280 characters, you can always email us at thebonfirefables@gmail.com. And if you'd like further information about the campaign, the player characters, NPCs, or behind-the-scenes sneak peeks, follow us on either Twitter or on our Tumblr, back-to-the-story.tumblr.com. Lastly, if you'd like to support the show, feel free to buy us a coffee at ko-fi.com/backtothestory. We'll see you next time in Norithil.